We're still trying to work out the show. Yeah, I've run from over there to in here, which is Studio 2, and look who I found.
Hey!
Ali's here. We were just discussing the last show we did, actually, back in the old days.
Yeah.
It was only a few months ago.
It seems a long time ago.
And I said it was the... do you remember the show? We were talking about all sorts of things. You were talking about the Mills and Boone Road. Was it the M6 Toll?
M6 Toll Road.
Where did we... It's the only show, not very few shows I record and I take home with me for reference. And that was one of the last shows I ever took home.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. However, we're here now and...
We can recreate it.
We can redo it all over again. If you'd like to comment throughout the show, please do so. We are at Landscape Now. The details are over there. The eye of information is all on your screens. But obviously, if you're watching in Landscape and you're watching on YouTube, you need to comment on your phone or your tablet because the two things are not working together at the moment. We're working on it.
This is when it's all new and shiny.
We're with Voyage of Discovery. It's lovely.
It's great,
if you'd like to shop with us, the new way to shop is to, in the comments, put the word shop and whatever code we give you. There could be love, it could be fuse, it could be film, it could be girl. Whatever. Once you do that, you've secured your product. And then none of this thing about having to check out while you're watching so you miss some of the demo.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
It's really clever. And you go and check out after the show when we send you a little message for your basket. So don't worry, relax. There's still got lots of people saying, where are you? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube now. Or the website, which of course is highlightcrafts.com. You can go to there, watch it on the website. But you've been using Facebook forever. Just watch my channel. Highlight Crafts, Ali's. If you find a live feed, like you used to do Facebook Lives, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. That's all it is.
I don't know what else to say because in the comments I have hundreds and hundreds of comments that go, I don't know what to say. It's a Facebook Live. Just watch it. Just watch it.
Just watch it. We can talk. You can type.
Yes. So what are we talking about in this?
Right. So this morning I introduced quite a few people here to fusible film. Okay. So and I thought I could combine it with my love of making books. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our fusible film. We're going to make some book covers, and then I'm going to help you bind them up into books.
And we're going to make you make your own books, and that is.
And then we've got a really nice little thing at the end there, which is a junk journal kit.
Oh, that's right up your street.
It is.
That's you all over that.
It is, yeah, that's me on a pod.
Exactly, with a number. Right, let's start with the fusible film. If you want to get hold of yours, now the first one we've still got. Or we're not going to do.
It's there. It's some
the love
stamps.
Blocks, some stamps, but we'll come back.
Yeah, we might use them, but we used them a lot this morning. So we thought we'd have a look at different angles this afternoon.
Right, so let's talk about fusible film first.
So this is
set of 5.
This is set 1, okay? So you get 5 different colours, 2 metres of each.
Yep.
And the code is fuse for that one.
Do I need a special kit or tools for this?
You need a source of heat, be that a heat gun.
Yep.
We were doing it with the foily penny thing earlier, which I can't remember the pen.
I wish you'd stop talking jargon. The foily penny thing.
What's it called? Foil pen, there you go.
Foil pen.
Craftmaster?
Yeah.
Craftmaster foil pen, there you go.
Okay.
An iron works, heat gun works, just a source of heat.
Decent heat though.
Yeah.
It's got to be not like a hairdryer.
Hairdryer would just flap it around too much.
Like my Barnet. Yeah, he did. That's what I'm doing, mate. Oh, I had dinner. Mrs. Dean, I was eating my dinner though, went out for lunch, Mrs. Dean. She went, are you thinning on top? And it's for a man. No one. She's just thinned it out a bit too much, and it's white, and you can see through it.
Well, the one that gets Paul is when he's setting up my overhead camera, and he's having to look, and he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, mate."
Yeah, that's how I felt for the years. The roots. Yeah, now you know.
Yeah, and you can see it, and the light's shining on it. It's like, is it that bad? I'm like, yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's not, but don't tell him. Oh, yeah. Spoils the fun.
That's evil. So, so this is something I can do what with, Ali? Give
right.
Some ideas.
So this is a heat reactive material, so you can shape it over stamps and create shimmery things. You can encapsulate stuff.
You can die cut it, obviously.
You can, yeah. I mean, I cut this out with a pair of scissors.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you can die cut it. You can iron it over the dies and get the impression of it.
Cool.
We did loads this morning with it. But 2 things I forgot this morning. One was if you iron on top of a laser image, it will transfer the image onto the film as well. I forgot that this morning.
Happy accident?
Yeah, first time it was a happy accident because I used a photocopied instead of parchment paper, and it literally put the
You've
image...
built a career on it now, haven't you, really? Happy accident.
Did Bob Ross no harm?
No, but you know what I mean? I don't know anyone who can take something that goes wrong and go, oh, I know what I could do with that. That's brilliant.
I always say when you're doing craft, if something goes wrong, don't stop, go 1 step further, because sometimes you are 1 step away from something amazing.
Yes. So all the inventions of the world, they've stopped.
Yep. Champagne was a mistake.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't meant to happen. Glad it did. Yeah. Yeah, there's only pain I want in my life. Champagne.
Nobody told me when I agreed to do this today.
Yeah, she met me in the car park. She went, oh, hello, you want to, what time you on? And they all guessed it. They go, what time are you on? I went, I think at the same time as you are. Oh, lovely.
I came back in. I didn't jump in the car.
So that's 5 films in there. And that's the first one.
Yeah, so that's got Astral Blue, Eastern Sky, Peacock, Crystal Aurora, Raspberry Sparkle.
Like that. £11.99 but £2.96 saving. You're welcome. So pop that into your basket from that one. And we do have a second set though. Different colours. I assume same thing?
It's exactly the same thing, and they work together. So if you go for both sets, you can mix and match them. On this one, you have Mint Sparkle, Cotton Candy, Crystal Moon, Purple Flash, and Citronella.
And that one's, we've got a Fuse for the first one. So Shop Fuse, then Shop Film, £11.99 for both. And people are there already. Thank you very much, my lovely. Hello, Eddie. Eddie's watching. Eddie Keeley. You remember Eddie, one of my director? He's watching.
Yes.
Morning, Eddie. Hope you're well. Hope the family's well. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Now, Micah, we've got that as a thing as well. A selection pack of that.
It's not out.
But we've also got lots of other things you may have seen this morning.
Yes.
But I want to say that they are still available.
They are still available, yeah. So the micas is the
website.
12 little bag selection pack of mica powders.
Yeah. Go to the website because there's some things on this show that won't be the same as earlier, but they are available.
Yes.
Because we're trying to make sure you see everything.
Yeah.
Right, what do you want to do next?
Right, so shall we go to the bookbinding?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with the basic one, which is your bookbinding cradle. This allows you to pierce holes so that you can stitch your books together. So all of these ones down the front here are made just using the cradle. So if you have no other bookbinding tool, this one is the one for you. It just makes life so much easier. You don't have to, no longer are you hovering around in the air trying to poke up.
But not just that, you're doing this with stapler.
Yeah.
And staple it like a school book. No one wants that. We want traditional bound. And then once you wrap that, because that's what's inside original books, isn't it?
Yeah, if you look on the side.
Yeah.
But play with it as well.
Oh, yeah, look at
Add
that.
beads to it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's called a pamphlet stitch, and that just uses just the cradle on its own. And we'll make one of those, but we'll create a fusible film cover.
I'm guessing cradle.
Cradle.
Shop cradle.
Shop cradle.
It's $14.99, but you buy it once, because once you bought it, it's making an MDF, and it collapses down as well, doesn't it?
It does. If you take the end stop out, it will collapse down, so it doesn't take up much space. And my top tip is, when not in use, collapse it down, because otherwise it just becomes a letter rack, and then when you want to use it, it's full of stuff.
Right, it's like
I did that once.
like a treadmill.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Floor
Everyone's
dry.
watching. They just become dog towel dryers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I want to go on it,
Can't, yeah.
go
So
up,
that's what I
fold
do.
the washing up before I can have a workout.
Yeah, so that's what I say with the cradle, because it is such a useful little tool.
And all made by yourselves, isn't
Yeah.
it? So this is what we love. They're all made.
Yeah, so this one comes flat packed to you. The next two tools we look at, we build for you.
Oh, lovely. And
Okay.
this is like a little attaché case.
This is,
of
yes.
wonderfulness.
So this is the little drawer that does fit in the side there, which has all your bits and pieces, including multi-purpose bookbinding pegs.
Yes, Ali.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel. If a golf tee does the job, the
No, I was
golf...
going to say, you know, that really we could also use that for. Do it the other way around.
Yeah.
It is a bookbinding tee,
It is,
however, or
yeah,
peg. But
peg.
if you want to use it as a golf tee,
Yeah,
great
the fact
idea.
it comes in a box with golf balls on has got nothing to do with it. Right, but this is your stitching frame. So this is a sort of a medieval way of stitching books together, which is for when the book, as we said, starts to get too thick and you have to break it up into little bits to make a full book. This is what you use to make your multi-signature books. So all these books here are made on the sewing frame.
Okay.
So this allows you to join all those little sections of books, your little signatures, together into one big book.
And that's what we've learned. Is if I do that there, if you can see how close you see individual little, there are lots of little tiny ones all joined together. Do you see what I mean? So you don't have this big thing, because you wouldn't be able to turn the pages.
No.
And also the pages get smaller.
Yeah, I should have bought it. I bought a cheap notebook. Don't judge me. I needed a notebook in a hurry, and I hadn't got time to make one. And it was a stapled one, and they just folded, I think, about 80 pieces of paper, and it printed with a margin. And when you look at the side, in the middle, the margin's about this far from the edge of the page, but on the outside, it's that far from the edge of the page.
It's got a longer journey, the page on the
Yeah.
fold, isn't it? So the pages sort of stagger down like this. When you do it properly in a signature style like you used to with books, it all means that it's all the same. And actually, that looks like you have to make big things, but you don't.
No, you don't. In fact, you can do right down to the sizes we've got down here, which are the little teeny tiny ones.
I love that.
So you can do up to about A4 in size, down to however small your eyesight can cope with, really.
Are we doing demos?
Hopefully I'll get a chance to do this, but we'll definitely use the cradle. But if we're quick on this bit, Mr. Wilson.
Right, shut up. What she's saying is shut up and get on with it. Okay, then. That's the. Which one was that? What's the code for that?
That's the bind.
The bind.
No, it's not. It's the frame.
It's the frame. Yeah, shop frame for the Stamps Away traditional book.
Why did I put bookbinding in all the titles?
Stitching frame, $59.99. All works and it all flats down again. It's very, very clever. And hopefully we'll get a demo in. And then next up we have...
This is the padding press. So this again is for gluing together books. So you can make your little books like this. So this is a glue bind, which means that you can use single sheets of paper. You don't have to work out pages and stuff. Also, you don't have to...
It's bound in here, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's what's called the perfect bind, and this is just magic. This is just clever. It works it all out for you. So all you have to do is put some glue on, and it does it.
And what we say next door with the Brother Scan and Cut, I mean, that's the modern day version of a business in a box. I mean, this is like it's almost like medieval business in a box.
Yeah.
This has been happening for hundreds of years, hasn't
and
it?
if you look, handmade books now are thankfully really, really desirable. But ones like this, it's like what I've done there is I've made a card, but instead of just doing a card,
made it
into a book. And the same with the cradle. If you take, say it's somebody's special birthday, if you stitch pages into a card and send it round for everybody to write meaningful messages, they've then got a lovely memory book instead of just a card that's written on. Yeah, that's then what do they do with them? Also, if you look how much it costs to have your wedding cards bound into a book,
That's a great idea. Actually, I've got loads of cards because we kept all George's birthday cards and Jack's birthday cards. You could bind them into a book.
Yeah, you could buy.
Oh my! The pennies just dropped.
So you could do them. So each signature is 1 year, and then so they could each have a book from their first to their 18th.
So instead of having cards in a bag that you make vintage, just get rid of them, don't you?
And the thing is, if it's in a book, you're more likely to look, because what will happen if you think about how a card will go together, all the greetings will all fall in the same section, so you'll sit and you'll read them, rather than just...
Is your brain going like mine is? Because I've done this show lots of times, and just the cards, binding cards together in years... Especially now, because one of them's 27 now, and the other one's 20, and we're getting past that.
I know, that's just ridiculously scary.
Already looking at the cards, at the moment won't mean anything. Get into your 30s and 40s, it suddenly goes, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like now, my mum's got dementia, and I'm thinking all those things. So I'll pick up a card. If I have got a card, I can't remember who it's from. Whereas if you bind it up into a book, you can make little notes on it. Auntie Mary, and it's like, well, actually, that was the next door neighbour.
You don't want to deface the card by putting a note on it.
No.
But if you put another layer in of the book,
you could put another page.
You could preface that card with a note of what.
Or just all the little things of where. Honestly, it's just
genius. Buy it immediately. Right, and at the end here, we're just going. There's someone emptied their briefcase.
Yeah, me.
Wonder who that was. Okay then, let's talk me through this.
Right, so this is a junk journal kit, because junk journals are fabulous. So that is where you make a book out of anything. Yeah. But quite often, the first time you're doing it, the things that you have in your collection are too personal. Like we've just said, you don't want to deface them. Whereas if somebody else has collated them, you've got no emotional connection to it.
No.
And you're freer to tear it up, stitch it, do whatever you want to it, and then that liberates you into then maybe making a journal that you can put your own personal things into.
People's Journal, 1952.
Yes.
The latest circulation of any paper north of the 4th. North of the 4th.
North of the 4th.
There you go, north of the 4th. And it's some comics
in there.
But
obviously, because of the nature of this, contents will vary.
Of course they will.
Because all of these, there are letters in here. Now, again, you'll get to learn how to use them in journaling without that fear of you're ruining great granny's letters because you have no emotional connection to these.
I love
so you've got all sorts. Some of the stuff is modern, like the tickets and the little record cards, but a lot of it is...
Bingo!
There's a
bingo ticket!
Numbers are brilliant. Numbers feature so much in journaling because you'll all have your lucky numbers and things.
Oh, and mine's been going at me nan's to the bingo on a Friday and sliding across the hall on your knees.
Yeah. But that's
and pulling legs off Daddy Longlegs.
We don't condone that.
Them. Yeah, and doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting your coat.
That is what this is all about, because you it just sparks
Straight away.
Straight.
As soon as I saw that, I was there. I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I'm off my face on Coca-Cola. What? Well, I was, because it's just sugar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine me. That's why I don't have any sugar. People say, "Oh, do you not have sugar?"
you remember the
"Oh,
day
yeah, just because it's bad for inflammation." No, because I'm just literally bonkers if I have sugar.
My husband has mini eggs. He literally starts shaking.
I love
Yeah, that's what he's like. So, what's up with me? I'm like, you've had mini eggs.
mini eggs. But Hannah and I have a connection, and it's normally sweet based. But you're right. When you open them, it's the smell.
Yeah.
And I've told this story many times. I used to run news agents as an assistant manager back in the day. And then we have a counter like this. And you come in and you go, yeah, thank you very much. The newspaper, beep, you know, can I see it? And then all the sweets. And then in Easter, there'd be this massive box with a scoop in. And I'd have the weighing machine. Yeah, can I have a quarter of them, please? And you just go turn and you go. And I got that. I could flick it literally into my mouth. And I got this this obsession. And I was obviously like 19, 20 years old. I've obviously been through puberty at that time, but I had puberty version 2 because I was just like spotting. I was thinking, why am I? My girlfriend said, "Why am I supposed?" She said, "Blooming eggs you're eating, Genevieve. You're eating 4 pound of eggs every single day." And to this day, I have an obsession with. You can't just have one, can you? And I can. I can have one biscuit. I can have one jelly top. I can. Mini eggs.
No, even while you're starting to feel really sick, because I just go, keep going.
I'm really pleased they've got the bag smaller because it's safe.
Could you imagine a tub now?
Yeah. Another thing I can't eat, I'm doing it again, look. Another thing I can't eat one of is giant chocolate buttons.
Oh, yeah. Oh! You have to stack 2 together and let them melt in your mouth.
Like a sandwich.
Oh, you're pros. You're on a different level to me. Well, anyway, talk about craft. That's a craft in itself. That's a skill in itself. Okay.
But this has all come from the whole junk journal. That's what it's about. It's the memories.
That's what I'm trying to say. That everything leads on to something else.
Yeah.
And like I said, when we're doing, you're not spending money. You're making memories. Think of everything as making memories.
Yeah.
And you're laughing.
Because make them now while you can. Because there will come a day when you suddenly go, I can't ask that person that question, and that's you.
Do you know what? It's hard hitting when it becomes reality.
Yes.
And it's become reality for me now when we just lost the last elderly relative.
Yeah.
I.e. Mrs. Dean's mum last year. That's it now. Between us, nobody.
Yeah.
And so you can't go,
Yeah.
And you go, you're going like, I've got this analogy, right? I'm the oldest in the family. So I've gone from being in the queue and now I'm at the edge of the cliff at the front. Oh, hang on a minute. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Why am I at the front all of a sudden?
But also, you know how it feels, that moment of, but I can't, I've got nobody to ask. Whereas if...
It's been frustrating when you're trying to tell your kids and they won't listen to you. No, please listen.
Yeah, but if you make it into even if they don't take it straight away, there will be a moment when they pick it up and they go, "Thanks, Dad."
Well, I'm lucky because a lot of last 25 years of my life has been documented on TV.
Yeah.
And I've told them all stories about themselves. And there's somewhere on Google there is a diary of my life and their life. Oh, look, you just ironed that. Is that what you do?
Right, this was all the scraps left over from this morning.
Oh, and it all sticks together.
Yeah. But look at that. Okay.
It's quite cute actually. That actually is really nice. That's almost a little a random stain. That's if you had a stained glass window in your house. That's what I expect it to look like.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely random.
Yeah, it's completely random. But these are ones that I.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay, so I'm just making a little cover here. So these are ones that we did again. We did earlier.
See, you're making a cover for a book.
Yeah. So we did these earlier. So I'm now going to lay that back over.
This is just normal grease paper. Parchment, yeah. Well, not parchment, what do they call it?
It's baking parchment. It's baking parchment.
Yeah.
But again, the same piece lasts all the time. So I'm just ironing this with a hot iron. So this is just following on. So sorry if you didn't watch this morning, but you can go back and watch it later and this will all make sense.
That's the other thing about Facebook Lives and that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know I always leave mine on for a week anyway. If they disappear after a week, everyone, I'm just trying to save some space. So
I upload mine to YouTube then. And then, put a date on them and then people can go back. Yeah.
Game changer.
Who'd have thought?
Okay, so
Who'd have thought to tell me that?
So there, I've now got a solid piece from loads of scraps that's going to become a cover. But let's go back to the basics on this and make another cover.
Right, so if you suddenly find on my YouTube channel, which I do have, Dean Wilson TV, and you suddenly find a load of shows still appearing, this is because I've discovered that you can upload
Yeah,
the
all
shows
all
onto
mine went up in a
YouTube.
week as well.
25 years worth of shows will suddenly appear on my YouTube
Oh, have you
channel.
got the one, the bookbinder with the M6 on?
I've got the bookbinding show. Should I upload it?
Yeah.
I should, shouldn't I?
There's only you and I on it, so I give you permission.
This a long time. I'm such an idiot. I've
been telling you for years, Dean.
But they always do this. They go, no, you can do that. Well, why didn't you tell me? I'm literally like the dad in this place, you know, and no one tells me anything. This is unusual. So just bits of old random stuff.
Yeah. Now, fusible film will only fuse to itself, but you can encapsulate in it.
Right, good
So
word.
by putting all these in here, and then if I lay more fusible film over the top, it will be encapsulated in there.
Encapsulation.
Celebration. But what's really nice with this is because it's only fusing to the film, they're actually safe in there. So you're not damaging anything.
This is like lamination as well.
It is. It is.
You mean you had that
But it's
cool
like-
laminator? You mean you had that?
Yeah.
The nice thing about starting a new place and a new show is I can do all the old stuff again. It's all new.
Not for us, it's
It's
not.
new to someone. It's
Not
new to
for us.
yeah.
3 times now.
No, I thought he'd gone forever.
It's like a bad penny.
Dream. Oh, I love it when it's so funny. So what did you do? They said, do you have a fight? I said, oh, you had a laugh. You know. You got to laugh, though, haven't you?
You have.
Dear, oh dear.
Right, I don't know if you saw earlier, but I accidentally picked a bit up on my iron. Now, some people think that's your iron wrecked, but because this only fuses to itself, all you do is let your iron cool down and it will literally just fall off.
Really?
Yeah, so I stuck quite a big bit to it earlier and you can see my iron
That's
is fine.
Pretty awesome. But that isn't your iron, or is it? Is that your iron,
Yeah,
Is that your clothes iron?
well, it was. But I don't really... That's what airers are for.
Airers. I have this thing, right? Yeah, I'm going to fold it because it irons itself. When you take it out the washing machine, if you fold it and leave it. I went, okay, so how's that working then today? Is it like the ironing elves are coming out? And while it's wet, and so I have to iron everything, you see.
No, I no.
Yeah,
Life's too short.
No, but I quite like it though. Because it's about perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Because
a mindful thing
I
again.
get a little thing. I put the radio on. I put some music on, and George's shirts. I've got to do 7 shirts, and
Yeah.
I actually quite like it. But then with fastidious, I quite like ironing because it's quite detailed. You see, for me,
Yeah, that's it.
it's who you are.
And you can see why some people make a business out of it because there's people like me that really can't be doing with ironing.
Oh, yeah,
you know. So,
we got Belinda because we fall in and out of love of it. Occasionally we fall out of love it again. In the summer we fall out of love because it's better things to do.
yeah.
So then Belinda comes back again.
Right. I'm going to quickly make this up as a book cover because all my little bits are
that's
encapsulated
lovely.
in there. Now I am going to trim this down, but don't worry because we've seen that you can just literally pile those up, iron them, and that's another piece of. That was this morning. Everything fell on the floor. Down
Well,
there
it did go.
somewhere.
I said to her this morning, nothing can fall further than the floor. It stops at the floor, so it's down there somewhere.
Right.
All right then, kiddo, careful.
Thank you.
Oh, and this is the fun bit. Now, if you ever thought, well, how do I make a book? Oh, it must be difficult. I don't know. Do we just staple it together? No, you don't. You buy one of these, which is the bind. Is it the bind?
This
Shop
is the
bind?
cradle.
Shop cradle. That's what I said. Shop cradle. Shop bind's the other one, you fool. Shop cradle for the Stamps Away bookbinding piercing cradle and guide.
Right, so this is the guide to help you spread your holes out evenly. So
right.
I've just folded everything and popped it in here.
So it doesn't have to go in the middle or the end, or
If everything was exactly the same size, you could butt it up to your
Right.
end stop. But because my cover is slightly bigger than my pages,
you're
because
gonna
I'm
buy
going to
eye it.
buy it, but I've got my guide here. So the guide does 2 things. One, helps push everything down to the middle there and holds your book open for
Clever.
you. And then also gives you
Look at this.
evenly
Look.
spaced things to pierce holes with.
You could sort of use that for other things, couldn't you?
Yeah, holes. I am going to add a couple more extra holes just because I can. I'm going to go with one there. And was it there I needed? Okay.
Right, okay. So,
So I've
then we've
got
got our
7
holes.
holes.
Now how do we stitch it though?
Okay. we get
some stitchy stuff
stitchy thread, and you want it
that
to
you
be...
haven't got the end for.
Yeah, it'll be in there somewhere. It's normally in there somewhere.
But one day you'll open it and it'll just be a load of little bits.
I'll find something to do with it.
I bet you will.
Right.
Dear.
Now, because we've used the cradle to go through, can you see how it's almost sort of done a little notch that comes out?
Yeah.
So it means everything's sort of locked together a little bit. So it makes it easier to actually
Does it
stitch.
come with a needle?
No, but you can use any old needle. Okay. Yes, this is a bookbinding needle, but the only reason I use a bookbinding needle is because it's got a really big eye and I can thread.
Where do I buy a bookbinding needle?
I have them on the website.
Okay.
So
we
just
come to you. Okay, lovely. Because I know if that was me, I'd be going, I want what Ali's got.
Yeah,
so
but I always say don't let the needle and thread be the thing that stops you. No. Because again, with bookbinding, officially you should use waxed thread, but you can wax your own thread with a candle.
Just run it through the candle.
Yeah,
right.
And I have seen a really cool thing that I want Paul to do me a version of, which holds the wax and has a little slot, so you're not having to hold your finger, because I always sort of get a little burn on my finger.
Because it too fast.
And I'm like, darling, like I do, you can make me.
There's a tone, isn't there? There's a tone. My sofa has 3 spots on it, and when I sit on it, the tone of the sofa is different. But one in it's, darling, 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 because my cheeks just touch the sofa, and then there's another one that goes, babe, babe, and every single one's got a slightly different tone, different word, and I know there's a different job. It's either a quick thing, wait, the first one's, what are you doing? Well, I was planning on, it's one of those. Do you have a sofa like that? Do you have a sofa that's just sort of, as the time it sits, it just touches his backside on it?
He doesn't even get to sit.
I was going to say.
No. Well, he doesn't know what he's missing there, does he? But I love it, really, because I love achieving things. Anyway, when I talk about this, what type of stitching are you doing?
Right, this is a 7-hole pamphlet stitch, because I did extra things. So you start in the middle.
Yeah.
And you just do like normal running stitch till you get to the end. Then you go back on yourself so it becomes a solid. But when you come to the middle one, instead of going through the middle hole, you skip and go the other way.
Why?
Because otherwise, if you don't do that, it's an odd number of holes and your threads will end up one on the outside of your book and one on the inside of your book.
So there's logic to the madness.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I like to see.
So sometimes you'll see this called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, sometimes 5-hole. I've gone with 7 just because I wanted my holes to be.
You see, I would do that though, because that seems neater.
Yeah, because there's...
And is it as always an odd numbers better? It's like in the
for
garden?
this particular stitch, yes, but you can do an even number and you can do a chain stitch down the outside, because this stitching is visible. You can make it as ornate as you like.
Well, 20% of stock has now been allocated to everyone, because everyone likes the idea of having this. You'll be surprised of how many things you can journal and you can bind together. Whether it's cards that we said already, and it could be you could do a sort of like a journal slash, what's the word? Scrapbook. Scrapbook, yeah.
But yeah, journals, watercolour books. Get some nice watercolour paper, stitch it together, make your cover out of something a bit more robust, squirt your watercolour on it, let it dry.
You're doing what Mrs. Dean does. When she talks to me, she says, so what you want to do, ring them up and say, get the potatoes, and then you clean them, okay, and then it's the water, put them in a bowl, and then, with a lid, and then I'm like, I do know what a pan is, and honestly, everything, even tiny detail, and then little one, not the big one, little one.
Yeah.
Do you do it at home? Do you like hand signals?
Yeah.
You do that. I speak with my hands. Tell me about the back.
Oh, can't talk.
Do you speak with hands, hand?
I cannot talk without using my hands.
Small one, not big one. Simon, the big one. Big one. Right, and go upstairs, on the cupboard, third. This is the one I love. Third shelf. behind the third shelf.
See, the trouble is with my husband is he doesn't look. So I would be saying 3rd shelf, and he'll be looking over here at the bottom shelf. So bird box challenge when he's looking for something. I can't see it, can't you? It's just there.
We'll never have 4 boys, because it works both ways, isn't it? And I understand. So it's 2 things. Apparently, someone said the other day about there's 2 things that I'm really bad at. So one is listening, and it was some other thing she said. And
Yep. Welcome to my life.
She doesn't even get involved in it. She just does this. When I do little jokes like she's like that, she just does this, and just the thing you go like.
Yeah. But Paula's like, that was funny, wasn't it? It was funny. I'm like,
she doesn't even entertain anymore.
Well, people often say, "Oh, how do you work with him?" Blank him, just block him out.
You say blank him?
Just blank him.
The brazenness of the honesty is like,
my mum always told me tell the truth.
Yeah, but sometimes be kind. Like a white lie to be kind. My goodness, I feel like I've had open heart surgery there. Crikey. Yeah, we just all. So basically, 20 years. It's just been ignoring me for 20 years.
So who are you?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Right, let's move on to this other old whatever she's doing now. Because if we're going to be honest, can we be really honest?
We can.
You can't handle the truth. We're going on to things. This is what I love about when Ali's here. We always have fun because it is fun, and these things you may not be trying because you think you can't, but what you try to do, I know you have done as well. You've made these things as easy as they could possibly be.
Yeah.
Do they come with instructions?
They come with a link to a YouTube of me
Even better.
Without interruptions.
Even better. Was that? Some people call it entertainment. Have you ever watched an instructional video?
Yeah. Well, I was doing a Facebook Live the other day and I was looking after my friend's dog George and all I could hear was him snoring from down the front. I thought, well, that's just rude.
I had to talk about Facebook Lives and Teams calls. I had a great story told to me yesterday. This is a good one, right? This is the CEO I was talking to, and he said he was on a call to another. Actually, he was on a call. I can't tell you who it was because you know who it is. I'll tell you after. And he's on the call. So all pop up, morning, hi. And there's a lady there as well that's part of the team. I can't name names and then the boss, who's generally known for putting his foot in it, says to this person that we know, and it's just like this fluffy head thing. Oh, he went, oh, is that the dog? And then the face came up, went like that. And it was his missus, and that's the wife. Is that your dog? And apparently, there's people had to leave the meeting because they left and came back. And the person, can you imagine you going, no, that's my wife. That's what I love about live Teams meetings. You have to check your background, your foreground.
Oh, yes.
Don't come in. Anyway, what are we doing?
Right, so we're rigging up the sewing frame because we're going to stitch a multi-signature book. So the little one I just made with the fusible film cover.
That's nice.
So I just think that looks lovely as a little cover because you've encapsulated your stuff.
And that's not going to come apart at all, is it?
No.
I mean, that's going to stay like that for centuries.
That's stuck in there. But you can just enjoy looking at it and all the little memory bits.
The thing about this also, that's not available in the shops.
No, so it can be personalised.
You could actually put a passport photograph or something, a really, really awful one.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff,
Yeah, you can go to town on it. It could be the silly receipt from the first coffee you had. All the little things that we keep, but we don't really know what we're going to do with.
Yeah. What we actually do with Georgia, because we keep all this Christmas stuff that he's made for the tree.
Yeah.
And Sim's got it out there, the box full of it, and Georgia's like this. I remember that.
Yeah.
And he was first of all, he tipped out and went like, oh, but literally 5 minutes in, he was going, oh, I remember this.
I've still
He's only 12.
I've still got the teasel hedgehog I made when I was at primary school.
And aren't they the best decorations ever?
And my tree, which is all beautifully coordinated, black and silver and everything,
However,
except the white and red mouse in an aeroplane that still hangs round the wrong way, that was from my childhood Christmas tree. Pride of place at the front there, totally random.
They are the best decorations, because the same. The tree looks really nice, but it's peppered with, efforts at Christmas, I would like to say they are. But we loved them. Oh, hang on, my doodle's dropped out of my pocket. Hang on. Not that. My microphone.
I think it was Mike, not for any other reason.
My doodle's dropped out.
My doodle's dropped out.
That hasn't happened for a few years, I'll tell you.
Right. Oh dear.
So we're set up now. So we could use string, we could use ribbon.
Yeah, you can use ribbon. If you're using ribbon, you use the different little clip things.
Okay.
You thread the ribbon through there.
And again, this is all on YouTube.
Yeah, and you have to do a slightly different bind if you're doing ribbon. Again, it's all covered on YouTube.
I won't interrupt anymore because we haven't got 10 minutes
left. So I want that's gone quick
That
again.
got you woke you up, didn't it?
Right, I
Because
just
it says
need...
11 minutes 54 up there.
Right, so I need to just do a little mark here. So normally I do this with a pencil, but I'm just going to use my awl and just scrape the MDF. So I need to mark where the strings are so I know where I need to pierce the holes. Because unlike the first book, all the holes have to be in exactly the same place across all my signatures.
Right, okay. So we're using 2 bits of kit to make one book now.
Yes, you always... The piercing cradle is so important because otherwise I would be having to do this to try and pierce holes.
And all that just makes me cringe.
Yeah, exactly. So
straight in your hand.
Yeah, whereas this is nice and safe. So I just need to pierce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Do not have to remember this. This is all on the tutorial. Okay, so
I love how simple
1,
it is.
2,
That back to
3,
measuring again, isn't it?
4, yeah, because we've
key,
done all.
So
and you just do as many signatures as you need for your book. Okay, and in terms of how many pages in a signature, it is depends how thick your paper is. If your paper is really thin, you can have more pages in your signature.
Yeah, and a signature is a collection of pages. How big normally is a signature? 4 or 5 pages, 10 pages?
Yeah, 10 would be a stretch because you'd be on really sort of fine, almost tissue paper to be able to have.
Right, sure. So about 4 or 5?
But you know why it's called a signature?
Tell us.
Okay, because when the printer would lay out the pages, and obviously he's got to work out where page 1 is, page 2, he would then mark them. This is the first section that needs bound. This is the second section. He would sign them, and then the binder would check the signature to make sure it goes in the right order.
Hence, it's a signature. That's called a signature. And it's not many people. And it's one of those things that when you know, you know. And when you know it, people are impressed. How do you know that? Well, actually, back in the day, when they took all the Mills and Boons book, they made a motor out of them. Do you know that story, Hannah? Tell her the story again.
Right.
Last time we were here, we got involved in book, and I said, "Well, I'll do it again. We'll do it again for old time's sake." I did it. It was one of our best interactive shows ever. What was the first book you read at school? You remember reading at school? And I said Janet and John.
Yeah.
Janet and John for me. Penguin. Billy Blue, yeah. And also.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 and away.
Yep.
The book that scared you the most. Mine was like Christine. The first book that really scared you, and for me it was Christine. Right. So you know, don't you? And
Plague
come on,
dogs.
comment in. What was that? What was the first book you remember at school? And what's the first book that actually made you, made an impact on you?
Plague dogs again.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the book. I think it was like my granddad used to buy me because I used to fish as a kid, and fishing books and things. And he bought me one, and it was like a book of not only hand painted, drawn of the fish, but what about them, the background, what the. I remember reading it and all this going in, and it was like because it was facts rather than a story. My little brain was like facts, facts, facts. And I remember that sticks with me, and I don't know why. But anyway, the bottom line is, so we got onto this subject, you see, Hannah, and you at home might remember this. And then you said, did you know?
No.
Right, she went into full Michael Caine, put them on and go, did you know? Go, put them on, go, did you know?
Did you know?
Did
Gosh,
you?
they're quite strong.
No, they're not, actually. No,
What are they?
says they're like 0.75.
I'm 1.75, but hang on, let me try
There
read.
are
Let me try read.
varifocals, though.
That's what it is.
Look through the top bit. Did you know?
Did you know that the M6 toll road is built on 45,000 books per mile, which equates to 2 million Mills and Boons books, which were pulped down to go under the surface to reduce the sound and make the road surface last longer.
So the M6 toll road is basically your drive on a road of love. Road of romance. That's even better, Han. A road of romance.
A lot of people say that about the M6 toll road. Not the fact that it's...
Especially the lay-bys. Sorry, I'm going to get complaints again. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear.
True, though. So it's made up of pumped up books. I love that story, though, because it's like recycling again.
It is, but also when people get really sort of worried about using books that are past their best, they would end up, because it does cost money to do that. It costs money to recycle books, so it's amazing.
Why don't you do it?
Yeah, so do it. Use them, because otherwise they will end up in landfill or under a motorway. So when I get to the end of a signature, and I'm about
Sorry, Ali, I did it again, didn't I? Sorry.
Right. you always keep your hand on the inside of the signature that you're working with. That A, helps you guide the needle through, but also applies pressure so that your book is binding together nice and firmly.
Hence also having a nice blunt darning needle or something.
Yeah, darning needle. I mean, to be fair, even the kids' plastic ones would work because you've already made the hole.
Yeah, sure. And basically what you're doing, you're stitching round.
Yes, you go out, round the twine, and back in the same hole.
And that's binding it to the twine.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then the
based
twine,
on where the pegs are, depends how big the book is.
Yeah, and how many twines you've got in it. You can have more twines, less twines. You know, you can have, 10 twines if you want, and have lots of nice texture down your spine. And then you have a start and a stop point where you come out once you've finished that signature. So while we were joking, I've already stitched 3 signatures together.
So you don't really have to concentrate per se, do you?
I don't.
Oh, have we got a quiz?
I've got confession to make.
Did you forget?
It's not I've been too busy shopping.
You've been shopping. Hannah's. You meant to be earning. You meant to be earning, not shopping, love.
I was supposed to be producing the show and I totally forgot to change any graphics to do the quiz.
So if you've had the same graphic on for the beginning of the show, Hannah's shopping at the moment, buying all this stuff when you should be working. So it's not just me, is it? That's why you watch this. This change. People say, "Oh, the new format. It's a lot more fun." My shows have always been this chaos. There's never been any order in my shows. Should I do the quiz? What are we giving away?
Oh, a book.
Should we give a book away?
Yeah, the third one down in the stack on the top.
This one.
No, not my little bit, not my little one.
No.
The third one down in that stack there.
Oh, third one down or up? This one?
That one, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go, little book. Look, that looks like something that I would have found in my granddad's, what's it called, bureau.
Yeah.
And look how old that looks. Look, it's as old as me. Look, it's as old as
But that's made on the sewing frame. The only thing that makes that look old is I ran some gold ink down the edge of the page.
Yeah, but what's this? The outside?
Oh, it's only faux leather. In fact, I was eyeing up down on this trolley.
Looks so good.
Nice
We're giving that away.
Shush,
I've got
There's some nice corky stuff down it.
Right, I've got 3 questions, right, to win this.
Stuff. Look, just found that underneath. That would make a fabulous book cover.
Just nick it. Right, okay. Right, we've got 10 minutes to go. Fill in the blank. And the beanstalk. And the beanstalk. Question 2. I won't do them separately because what I've realised is you put all 3 words in one comment and you're in, and you don't have to wait and do it all over 6 because it's a pain in the jacksy. Right, Queen Elizabeth.
You just spoilt it.
Oh, haven't I? I didn't mean that either. Because that's sometimes what I call my elder, because his name's Jack. Queen Elizabeth II's youngest son is called what?
Oh, that's a bit of a tougher one.
Toe rag. Oh, quick.
That's not him. That's the other one.
Oh, Ian, yeah. Yeah. You're not invited, I'm afraid. And then finally, the third question. What do you pour onto Christmas pudding and set alight? Guy Fawkes? No.
Wrong holiday.
What do you pour onto pudding? What is it? Oh, is it? Is it that?
Yeah.
You can put it in the butter as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't have Christmas pudding, I don't like it. It's the candied peel and stuff I don't like. Yeah. And and you buy it in a £2 coin.
20p when we were kids. But it was quite funny because I didn't like it as a child, but I still used to get a 20p in my custard. I think my mum might have been involved in that somehow.
20p in your custard.
Because rather than miss out, because I didn't have Christmas food, she used to slide it into the custard.
Loose change in your dessert. I mean, that's not how it works. Right, let's do them all again. Fill in the blank. Something in the beanstalk. What was it? Who ran out the beanstalk and saw the giant and then, yeah, you know him. The second's youngest son. Who is it?
We're getting a lot of people saying Andrew, but he's not the youngest.
He's
not the youngest son. It's Edward, isn't it? Yeah. What do you pour onto Christmas pudding? Set it alight. Petrol. No. Not that. You know what it is, don't you? Little Tipsy. It's actually Mrs. Dean's favourite Little Tipsy on Christmas Eve.
Oh, is it?
Yes, and I always have to buy. I always have to buy a bottle on for Christmas Eve. So there you go. Filling out those 3 words out. Oh, I tripped over that. And we're giving away the book.
The book.
The book. There is the book. Well, you're just testing the product now as well as buying it.
That one's gone.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out. Did you buy the last one?
Still in my box.
I do apologise. If you've missed out on any products, I do apologise. Hannah's probably bought it all. We will be having an HR conversation about it.
You can see this coming up in a review.
Exactly, yeah, review. Anyway, about you buying all the stock. Right.
It's like Paul says, we have a shoplifting problem. We're online only. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, now he's nicked all the stuff out of the counter. All right. I've used all the ink in the printer.
Sorted.
Did.
Has it printed yet?
No, I'm still waiting for a Frank Lampard. Sorry. Talk us through this because it's beautiful.
Right, so what I've done is I've used the twines on the sewing frame. So as I stitch, I go out the hole, round the twine, back in the same hole, which creates this little loop which grabs the twine, which then holds all 4 signatures together. And then the twine is what's used to attach your covers as well.
I was going to say, how do I make a cover now for that?
Right, so you'd use your grey board or something like that, or a piece of cardboard box, whatever you want. Now, if you want to, you can arrange your strings fancily, and then it creates a little bit of texture, like the book on the top.
Comme ça.
So it creates a little bit of texture there.
That's quite a nice idea, isn't it?
Yeah, so, and especially if you then cover it with maybe,
But how do I cover this bit if I'm leaving that out?
So you put that, you would have a strip of fabric and you just bring that.
Oh, I see. So this is only a small bit.
If you feel there,
oh, I
the
see.
paper's
Just
underneath,
right, gotcha,
it comes out round.
So it's only a centimetre wide, and
Yeah.
it comes to, and the rest of it's left out.
Yeah.
You can cut it off though if you want.
Yeah, if you're going to cut it off and you want it to go flat, you unravel your twine and you feather it out and it will lay flat. And that's another thing. That was the sort of job the apprentices would have had to have done, was undo the
boring.
twine and use a comb and feather it out nice and flat.
And so you don't even know it's there.
Don't know it's there.
It's clever, isn't it? And do you know,
But I always say when people take it off the frame like that, don't cut anything yet until you know, because if you've done this with ribbons and you leave your ribbons long, you can then actually use it to tie your book together and stuff.
Oh, that's
Whereas
cute.
if you cut straight away, you've removed that option.
Gotcha.
Whereas get it in your hand, feel, oh well, actually, yeah, I want to have it so it ties up there, and you can.
there's
tighten.
something intrinsically beautiful about making a book, isn't there? Because it
Oh,
means something.
totally.
Because this is where information started,
Yeah.
isn't it? At the end of the day, especially in the digital world that we live in. And we've had some fun today, but I think we all, say that having a book in your hand, still
Yeah,
to this day, there's something about having a book in your hand. Or
Yeah,
a
and just a
notepad.
little notebook, you know, doodle ideas in it, you
Yeah.
know, just. I think we forget to record things down. We joke because my husband does a lot of driving now. He says I should have a little notebook with where the best drivers' calves are and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you know, where's a good cup of tea? And
Don't you do this?
yeah, exactly, no excuse.
Just take one.
I've still got my dad's notebook, which is where he wrote every time he filled the car up with fuel, how much he paid and how much he put in, and how much it cost him when he got rid of the car. It was £1,250, and we'd driven the car 100,000 miles.
Wow. But see, at the time, that's like, oh, for goodness sake, Dad. But now,
Oh, honestly,
it's
his
priceless,
books,
isn't
his
it?
books, I've got all of his notebooks of all the different things. He'd have a book like that, and if he just heard a silly little fact like the toll road thing, he would write it down. He's called them useless piles of
I've
information.
got a notebook like that, which I just write silly, you know, the silly stuff I come up with. I hear it somewhere else, and I write it down. If I write it down, it goes in, you
Yeah.
see. But then I revisit it later on. And it's back in the day. Do you remember the late, great Bob Monkhouse? He had big joke books, and there was a big thing back in the 80s where they got stolen.
Yeah.
And he literally wrote every joke he ever heard for his 40, 50-year career. And there's 2 big manuals full of worth a fortune, because it was just every joke stand-up he'd ever done. Now they're priceless, because that's his whole career there.
Yeah, I mean, and we've got the digital age, but that's written by his hand. How important is that?
We underestimate it.
Yeah,
don't we?
and that's why I say with the junk journal kit, you know, because it's got letters and things, and they were letters that have been salvaged from going to landfill.
Yeah.
Don't read them, because some of them are heartbreaking, because they're love letters from the war.
Listen,
and
you're
stuff.
doing a favour.
It's going to be saved.
For something. We're not going to be saved if we can run down this route. We still have 5 minutes to go. So is there another stage? Are we going to complete this, or are you
No,
happy
we're not
leave
going to complete
there?
that. We're going to leave that like that. Shall we quickly show the padding press?
I think that's a nice.
So if
I'm
you
gonna say, 'cause
pass-
I'd like to go to the next stage, if that's all right. Just very quickly, fill in the blank. Jack in the something in the beanstalk.
If anybody gets that wrong, now.
Queen Elizabeth's the son. Queen Elizabeth's youngest son is the youngest, right? But what's he called?
It's not Ed, it's not Charles, and it's not Andrew.
Teddy.
Yeah.
My next door neighbour's son's called Teddy.
Is it?
Now I know, because every morning as we're going to the school, and all I hear is Teddy, Teddy. That's all. I knew his name before he was introduced to me. You know that, don't you? With all their kids. Yeah.
Well, my
George! That was our one. George! Because
My
everyone
neighb-
hears me because I'm a bit sudden. George!
my neighbour said, I know one of your dogs called Marvin. What's the other one called? Because you can guess which one I was always calling out in the garden.
It's true, dogs are... Yeah, because I go... Now, because when you go change dog, I've got a blind dog now, and he's soft, and he's a love sponge. It's this. It was... And he's a Cavachon. He's... Austin, Ozzy, come on, Dad. Come on, Ozzy. Come on, Dad. This way. And it's to make noises. Just go, oh, Dad, come on. In he comes in. Previous dog, Jack Russell. Right? Different. Buster! Buster! Bam! Stop! Get down! No! Buster! That's all I get from the neighbours. They say to me, go, you've changed dogs, haven't you? You got email, you got some of that. Did you have to shout at your dog?
Only Marvin.
Only Marvin, yeah. Last one. What do you pour onto Christmas pudding? Set it at night. There's going to be some great answers, isn't there? And they won't
Rum.
be, there won't be, best rum story, when my dad was still with us, and he came around for first Christmas, he hadn't been around for Christmas for a while, and I said, I poured him, he said, do you want a drink, Dad? He said, yeah, I'll have a rum. I said, oh, yeah, I'll get a navy rum. I said, I got that because I knew you liked it. So I came in, he's got his rum, and I walked back in, and I said, can I get you anything else? He went, another rum in there, because I'd only poured one. He said, yes, another rum in there. Oh, yeah, fair. Sorry about that, Dad. Anyway, but now we're going to... This is the bit I like the best, actually, because I quite like the glue, because I think people get this as crafters. Yeah. We've all got glue. If you haven't got glue, we've had glue on this morning, haven't we? Christine's been, isn't she?
Yeah,
Christine's been around. Christine's been... We've all got the glue. I literally opened another... a fresh glue gel to fix the front door handle this morning. Yep. I don't know if it's worked yet. I'll go home and find out.
Yeah.
I've done football boots this week.
Now, obviously, I'm doing a very thin book here because I've just...
You are.
But this could be as thick as you want, and you'd have a piece of grey board at the back, and you'd have all your...
Is this all you do? Literally glue it together?
Yeah. Right, so, did you see the first bit?
Yeah.
Right, so you put it down, you lift this up, tuck all your papers down, and tuck them up to the foot there.
So it's all flat.
So it's all flat.
Gotcha.
Then when you stand it up and you fold that back, you've now got that exposed so that you can glue it. But by having it exposed and being able to move a little bit, the glue is able to go just a little bit into it so that it can bond it. Then you take this bit, which has two pieces of plastic in there, and this slides over the top, perfect
you love this
height.
One, don't you? I've literally lost my producer. We've got a dribble bowl on the counter because as she's staring at the screen, meant to be running the producing show, there's just this little bit of dribble that's just...
And then you just leave that to dry. So that clamps it and you see perfect height, all measured, so you don't have to do anything.
And then all you do is just wrap a spine around it.
Yes, so the little ones there, they're all done like that.
Look, I knew another notebook.
Yeah.
These all right, they say, oh, it cost me £1. But the thing inside it, you can have one or two. So, oh, look, just so it's... And then you
That's because we showed how to separate it, yeah.
Little notebook.
But
and our notepads
think
just
my
running
craft
out.
studio, desk calendars. Yes. Lay it out nicely.
Yes.
Make up desk calendars. The great thing with this is you don't have to have, you can have as many pages. Also, if you've got a decent guillotine, you can make a big one, just glue it up once and then slice it up into sections and have, so, you know, there I could slice it into thin, you know, because you can do up to A4 on the portrait size so that you could, you know, you could have nice lots of books out of one lot of glue in.
Oh, what do you decide to have? Everything. Let's do the codes because she's forgotten the graphics. I've forgotten to take codes. The worst show in the world. This is turned to be. I need right. Which one's this called? It's called
so this
the
is
frame.
the pad impress. So this is bind.
Bind. That's the word I wanted. There it is.
Yeah.
So shop bind. If you want that, $39.99. That's the shop bind. If you want this one, which actually puts all of your signatures together, regardless of using twine or string or ribbon or whatever it may be. It's shop frame.
Yep.
Shop frame, $59.97. But once you bought it, and all this stuff slides inside
here.
And
So
it's got a carry
goes.
handle.
So if you open up the top, that slides in like that. The handle comes down. It's almost like he's married to a crafter who knows that they'd lose all the bits, and then the drawer doesn't fall out because it's got a little bit there that holds it in.
Look, it's amazing. $59.97. You buy it once,
and it's built You don't have to build it. It comes ready built.
And the thing about it, once you've got it, you've got it. All things you can make and sell
Yeah,
and get
definitely.
your money back. But we'll talk about business in a box. And to go with both of those, I think this is almost an essential.
You don't need the cradle for the padding press because you don't need to pierce.
Right.
But any time that you're piercing, so obviously you can make books on your own with that, with the just the pamphlet stitch, or if you're doing the sewing frame.
But so from a budgetary point of view, if you just want to start bookbinding from a budgetary point of view, just buy one of these.
Buy a cradle.
And get yourself started. There you buy the cradle. So shop cradle, $14.99, really inexpensive, but you've got, you know, and also the fact that you're just binding it with thread and things like that, that will encourage you.
But you can be creative with what you bind with as well. So you're saying about ribbon, what about using strips of fabric that have got memories? Because when I do a bookbinding workshop, I had a chap come because he wanted to make his mother-in-law a book out of his late father-in-law's shirts.
So cut that up.
Yeah, strips
and bind the book of memories with
the fabric.
Unbelievable.
Honestly, it's literally mind blowing. You could make books from now until the day you leave this earth, and they'd all be different, and you could do them all on here.
Instead of just buying something that someone's made 10,000 of, and they're all the same, make something unique.
Yeah, this is why Paul designed it like this, because I didn't want to be prescribed what size book to make.
No.
So he had to make it for my strict thing of, I don't want to make books all the same size and shape.
I don't do rules.
Me? No. I only break them.
Yes, we only
boundaries.
Push boundaries, yeah. We're provocative and controversial. That's what we like to be. If you want to do any shopping, don't forget, you can... Oh, God, I've lost my words now. You can comment at any time. If you are watching on this widescreen format now, you're watching on YouTube, brilliant for you. We haven't got the tech together yet to do both together, so you need to be either commenting and ordering on your phone or your tablet or online on the website. But you still can do that. We're working on it. But remember, once you've put that in your basket, you've then put yours to one side. It's yours. It's not the situation before you stretch your basket, it's gone. Where did that go to? When you go and you push that button to go and check out your baskets, you can do that. But the nice thing is you can carry on shopping. You get directed to the website, and the website is where all these things... And
also don't forget to sign into your Highlight account.
Exactly. It's like you don't need me. It's like, I don't know. Sign into Highlight account. Yeah, exactly. And you, of course, get your discounts because there's more money to come off. Because if you're a club member, it's 10% off.
Yeah, and free postage on things like this because they're over £35.
There you go. You see, again, I don't know why I bother saying that. If you want any of these items, but the thing about it, actually, I know they're stock items, but because you hand make them, there is a finite thing. You have to keep up. But if you get a rush, you do have a problem, don't you? Because you are still not. I think you always tried to stay this smaller company. And
I mean, I wouldn't.
Because
I couldn't outsource this. It would stress me out too much. It's silly things like sometimes when we're doing the wing nuts, some of them are a bit naff in the packet, so I know to reject them because they don't screw on brilliantly and things like that. And it's like.
So you've got a personal
maybe it's a control issue, I don't know.
Yeah, it is, actually. That's exactly what it is. But I appreciate it because I'm totally the same.
Yeah.
If I was, when I had my shop years ago, there were certain things, and if things were delivered and it weren't quite right, I'd stand back and I thought, hey, I could probably get away with it. But it's just like, in here, it's
and especially with something like this, because A, it's a considered purchase, and B, I want people to make books with it. I don't want it to be something, oh, well, I don't trust it. I want them to go,
it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I want it to be, the whole point of this is so that people, because bookbinding is a heritage craft, it is still considered viable. It is not an endangered one yet. I don't want it to become endangered. Let's everybody make a book.
No, don't endanger your memories. Can we just look at this last packet as well? Because I think this collection at the end here, which is your collection of stuff. Now, obviously, contents may vary. You'll get book pieces, you'll get bingo tickets, you'll get comics. Do you get the stencils?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you'll get those 2 stencils because I thought they were quite journaly ones because they're dates and things.
Dates and, of course, months of the year and that sort of thing. So that's superb. It got sort of music down here, sheets. And it's a lovely little, almost like a scrapbooky thing as well. Because
I think the idea as well is that you open it and it sort of sparks your imagination. Right. Because when I do a junk journaling workshop, I say to people, go and choose 30 pieces of paper to make the book because you can make the whole thing out of anything. I lose them for about 2 hours.
Nice.
So I've got to cram making a book into half an hour now because you've taken that long because you've all been reading the bits of it. What's this?
I did the same thing. First thing, you pick up the newspaper and start reading the front. Because I want to know. Yeah, so you will. It's funny. And imagine if you play music. Oh, hang on, what
that's all sheet music from a marching band. So you sometimes get like for the trom. Yes.
What have you got? I bought all this stuff.
Which is why. But look. I mean, they're not all as but that one's actually held together with bits of newspaper.
I know. Look,
because they've repaired it, and we've not taken anything.
Oh, you haven't done that?
No, that's how we got it.
I just love that for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Even that is like, obviously it's been used, and it just rather.
And it's like that's the story that it's telling.
Yeah, that
and
was
there's no way, with the best will in the world, with ink and stuff, could you make that paper feel...
That was on a bandstand once, and someone had that out, and they were playing it
up the other way, though.
But you say that, but look.
Oh, yeah.
They've stuck it round
They've stuck it round the wrong way.
Why was it done then? Was it because you could do that straight away?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
But I just love that, just picking words out from in it as well, because obviously there's all the,
Arthur
fade
Sullivan's
softly and things like that. You'll see in the little...
Ida. The Norfolk region, it's just up the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, you're right. You do get that sense of, but that happens in your own stuff, because when you buy a kit like that, and what's that was
journal.
If you go to shop journal for $11.99, then you'll go, well, hang on, I got some stuff that I thought was rubbish that actually isn't.
Yeah.
And then you'll look at charity shops differently, and you'll look at those car boot sales differently.
Yeah, and all the things, and also the things that ephemera, by the nature of it, means disposable. What people don't want, but actually that's in crafting, that's ephemera is this wonderful thing. So it's just amazing, the whole one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's exactly the thing, and I think that's absolutely right, and that's why car boot sales work.
Yeah.
Or as we used to be called, jumble sales.
Yes. Bring and buy sales. Do you remember them?
Bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-bracs, yeah.
But I used to have a jumble sale.
Yeah.
I remember I got this leather boxing helmet from a jumble sale once, and a pair of boxing gloves. Smelt of really old leather, all cracked. But because we didn't have any money, and my name got them for 10p or something.
Yeah.
And we used to box them. I looked like something like Rocky Marciano from the 1920s in it. Do you know what I mean? Well, I didn't. I put it on my brother and used to beat him up. But now he's twice the size of me and beats me up without a helmet.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on, because
safety.
it's not that type of show. We don't condone violence here, unless you haven't done your job properly. Right, what are we doing? How long we got?
That's it.
Oh, right. Have I overrun? Oh, I've overrun. Anyway, sorry about that. I can let's say thank you to Ali, and on behalf of the rest of us, we're just sorry, aren't we?
Sorry.
We are just generally
Really
sorry about the whole thing, and I'll be back later. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, quiz. Oh,
Sorry.
we're so rubbish. This is a complete rubbish show. Steph's going, I'll get rid of him. Right, fill in the blank. It's Jack and the Beanstalk, Teddy Edward. And then, obviously, Brandy for the Christmas pudding. Who's the winner?
Draw winners. I forgot what I was doing again. Elaine Whelan.
Elaine Whelan, you've won the book. You've won a book. We will send it to you. No, it's the wrong one. It's
that one.
Listen, it's time to go now, children, because
we all need to sleep.
We all need to sleep.